Hey y'all, I don't do video often or ever. This is probably my first one and I may not do one again, but I just felt like I really um, needed to share this and encourage somebody. So lately, life has just been throwing season after season of pain at me, and I've just gotten to a point in my life where I'm like, God, if these are the seasons, so be it. But I am tired. You know how they say tired of being sick and tired? Like literally, I am tired of my body going through changes because of seasons, because to each one of them there's been a shock factor, but I'm tired of my body going through changes because of the seasons. I'm tired of depression. I am ready to live in healing. And God was probably like, it's about time. I've been waiting on you to get to this point. No matter how long we've been saved and no matter how spiritual we think we are, there's always more growing to do. So I believe God as a healer, and I knew how to seek God for healing. But in my life, I think this is a season where God is trying to get me to mature to another level. I need you. I hear Him saying, "I need you to pursue me." There's something more in me. There's something more about me that I'm trying to show you, that I'm trying to get you to come after. And sometimes the issue is, especially if we think, we've been in church a while or we're real spiritual, we feel like this is what worked the last time and God, I need you to come nigh. But God is trying to draw us into a new place. So I was like, God, at all cost, I just want your healing. So God has been taking me through a season of being a little more quiet. A lot of times when He's dealing with me about something in the dealing, I tend to share because that's just who I am. I am transparent and vulnerable, and God has not closed my mouth. He's allowed me to share, but His instructions to me have been not until you are sure that I have dealt with it. Sometimes in the dealing, we want a little comfort because I don't know, God deals with each of us differently, but sometimes I feel like, dog, God, can you leave me alone? Because it's uncomfortable. And God is like, let me heal it, because sometimes when we share with others while He's dealing with it, we're seeking comfort, and that's all anyone can give. People can't heal you, but they can comfort you. So it's in the quietness and sometimes in those uncomfortable places that God can really get to those things, and He can heal um those things. So that's where I've been. And there was a moment this week where at I was at a low point. And honestly, because God has been doing a work in my life and I've been working with Him, I hadn't been at a low point in a while. And so I was like, man, where did this come from? I am taking steps back. What's going on? And I was like, God, I thought we were healing. I can't go through another season of this. Where are these tears? It was uncontrollable tears, and I couldn't stop crying. And I said, God, why aren't you healing me? And He said, but I am. There were seasons, past seasons, where I would cry and I would cry and I would cry, but I still couldn't feel. And that will only make sense to you if you have been there. But this time it was, yes, that hurt. Yes, I was mad about that. And He was allowing me to feel those things because those were things that I had pushed down. Sometimes God heals instantaneously, but sometimes healing is a process that we have to walk out with God. And God is like, yes, I'm allowing you to feel again. I'm allowing you to hurt again. Because if you hurt again, you can love again. Isn't that wonderful? God is amazing. But even in that process, the enemy just began to speak some things in my ear, and he was really tearing me up because my pastor just the Sunday before had preached the message about serving, being the church. That's who we're supposed to be, and we're supposed to give, and not always. require others to give to us, but church is supposed to be about serving. And I just, at that moment, I served in the music ministry at my church, and we had choir rehearsal that night, and I didn't want to go because I'm like, God, I don't have anything to give, and I don't want to be that person again. I've been that person for a long time that's always needed someone to come to me and to encourage me, because it's just been, I mean, they've been valid seasons, but sometimes you just get tired of being that person. Like, I want to be that person for someone else. And so I struggled because I've also been on the other end, where the more you stay home, the easier it is to continue in that pattern, and the deeper you fall into depression. So I've been there too. And the enemy, because I was like, I don't want to be that person. That's the door that the enemy needed. And he just said, you've been going through this for a long time. And it's not just what current people know. I mean, it's been seasons, even I believe, from childhood. And the enemy was like, this is just your life. And I can't even say that in that moment I had the faith to combat that. I didn't. I had to really start thinking about, I tried a number of things. I couldn't sing. I couldn't pray. But as I began to, I entertained the enemy for a little bit, and I was like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But I had to fight my way out of it. And the only thing I knew to do to fight my way out of it was to start thinking about how great God is. My life ain't great. The things that have happened to me aren't great in this moment, yet. Because on the other side of this, there is greatness. There's something great. And although I believe God is going to bless my way in a great way, I don't mean greatness in the way we think about it, like it's all about us. I mean greatness, like God's greatness and God's glory is going to fall on this. So what's going on, let me say that, what's going on in my life isn't great, but God's going to get the glory out of my life, and that's going to be great. So my life is great. But at that moment, I just started looking at stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, the enemy is right. It's just, that's what it is. That did happen. That did happen. That did happen. And no, I really don't. Offer a lot. Yeah, I do struggle like that. Yes, I did do that. And I was like, no, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this place. No, I don't know how. And all I could do in that moment is think about the greatness of God. It was as if God himself asked me, well, Stephanie, what do you think about me? Even if you can't think it about you, what do you think about me? God, I know you're great. I believe that you're great. I know that you're great. I know that you can do anything. And that began to strengthen me in that moment. Because if I am God's child and I serve a God who can do anything, then what looks impossible for me, it's possible with him. What looks impossible for me, it's possible for a great God. So even when I'm not great and I don't even have a circle that's great, guess who is? Guess who's surrounding me? Guess who's keeping me? So I just wanted to share that. That's all that God has given me to share. I don't really do videos, and honestly I've done this about 3 times because I got phone calls coming in and out. But wherever you are, if you don't feel like you can get out, and you might be like me, you might be full of faith most times, but if the enemy begins to come at you, think about who your God is, not what you're facing. And we say it all the time, if the enemy starts telling you or showing you how big your problem is, tell the enemy how big your God is. But when we're in the thick of it, do we really know or realize that that's ammunition that we have to combat the enemy's lies with. God is good. So even if I believe what the enemy is telling me, there's no way that the two can exist. And if I believe what I believe about God, then I have to identify the lie that the enemy is telling me. And it's a lie that and then if I believe it, it's a lie that I'm believing, because you know what? My God is great. And I can't believe that anything in life is greater. Anything life throws at me. If I believe that God is great and he can handle anything, then I can't believe that there's a problem in life that is too big for God. He's great. So pursue him, pursue healing, pursue wholeness. It is possible. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care how long it's been. I don't care how jacked up of a childhood you might have had. I don't care how many failed relationships you've had. I don't care how many people have walked out on you, how many friends have put you down. I don't care. Is your God big? Is your God big? And when I started to think about how big God was, then, the spirit of my mama came out. A shout out to my mama, because she will preach about anything. Then I started to say, oh no, the devil is a liar. And I began to speak back at those things. Oh, devil, you are a lie. This is going to birth purpose. I am going to be somebody that encourages and touches lives. And even in the middle of this broken season and in this brokenness, my presence means something. I am a blessing to people. Don't let the enemy tell you that you don't offer anything. Don't you settle for that lie. I don't know who this is for. This is what God has ministered to me, but I don't do video. Wherever you are, you have a purpose. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. And when the enemy starts throwing stuff at you, you think on how big your God is. He can handle that too. God can handle that too. Whatever that is, he can handle that too. Be blessed. I love y'all. Bye.